Jennifer Schutter, Field Specialist in Horticulture with University of Missouri Extension. I'm here today to talk about planting cool season vegetable crops. It's warming up in northern Missouri, spring is here, and it's time to get out into the garden and start planting your cool season crops like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. And these can be found at your local nurseries and garden centers. Other vegetable crops like spinach, lettuce, radishes, cilantro can be direct seeded into the garden or a raised bed or a container. Keep in mind that raised beds and containers warm faster, so if you plant it in a raised bed or a container, you'd get quicker germination rates than you would if you planted directly into the garden. If you're going to plant into a container or raised bed, you probably want to get a bag of potting mix to add to the soil that is already in there from last year. Now, containers that I've had tomatoes in the previous year, I do not follow up with tomatoes again the next year. Always plant something different in containers where you've had tomatoes. And it is too early to plant tomatoes, so right now it'd be a good time to plant spinach in that container, or lettuce, or kale, or cilantro. You have a lot of choices, and these again need to be direct seeded, and the seeds can be purchased from a local garden center or nursery. You want to wait to plant warm season crops until May. Usually mid-May in northern Missouri is a good time to plant your warm season crops, and you can purchase transplants at local garden centers. But if you choose to start your own seed, you want to start about 3 weeks before you plan to set them out in the garden. And if you're going to do that, you want to have a tray with cell packs, and you want to get a good seed starting mix like this one here, and you can pick that up at any garden center or nursery and fill your cells up with your potting mix, and then direct seed your seeds into each cell. Now these cell packs, the cells are not very big, so I'd probably only put 1 or 2 seeds per pack, and then I would thin them out to where there was just 1. And then when they are about 6 to 8 inches tall and the weather is warm consistently in mid-May is when I would set them out into the garden. Now sometimes we have issues with rabbits and other critters getting into our raised beds and our containers, and sometimes they need protection. And I find that chicken wire fencing works the best. I will cover containers with chicken wire fencing, just droop it over the top of it, or put chicken wire around the raised beds, and that seems to help. Sometimes when you put chicken wire around a garden, it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes those critters find their way under or over the chicken wire. But I know that that is an issue for some gardeners. Repellent that you can purchase at a local nursery also works. I have used that on sweet potatoes to keep rabbits from eating them, and the repellent does seem to work as long as you reapply it about once a week. And back to planting cool season vegetable plants. After you plant them, make sure that you label them. I like to use labels that are from old window shades. So you can find these at thrift stores and cut them into the size you need. I like about a 6 to 7 inch piece of label here. And then I put the name of the crop. This is Bloomsdale spinach. I put the date on it. So be sure you label and date the crop that you're planting. That way, if it doesn't germinate in a few weeks, you know how long it's been since you planted it and you can start over. It's always best to start with fresh seed. A grower, and a very experienced grower here in Adair County once told me, you always want to start with fresh leafy green seed every year. So this would be fresh lettuce seed and fresh spinach seed, kale seed each year rather than saving seed. Now we know that with tomatoes and other crops we can use older seed, but not with the leafy greens. It's always best to start with fresh seed. And for more gardening tips, or if you have any questions about gardening, contact me at the Adair County Extension Center.